Northeast Ohio. Welcome to What's New on this Winter Weather Wednesday. It is, in case you haven't heard, coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for spending time with us. With a very busy Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford.
Yeah, it's been a busy afternoon for sure, and I think the big thing is we say it's Winter Storm Wednesday, but it's not wintry yet.
It's coming.
It is coming. Let's take a live look from 90 westbound in Elyria. The road's still wet. No issues so far. We're rolling right along. We'll be keeping an eye on the road conditions throughout the entirety of our show. But we've also just learned that Cleveland Metropolitan Schools will be remote tomorrow and Friday. So no snow days. You still have to report in remotely. We do have a full list of closures on WKYC.com. I've been hearing more and more schools moving to remote for the next 2 days.
Now, we've got team coverage for you on the impending storm, from preparing for power outages to getting stranded on the road. Not just on the road, but perhaps in an airplane on a runway somewhere as well.
Ouch.
We have got you covered.
And we have reporters who've come to town from sister stations across the country, helping to give updates for everybody on conditions in our viewing area and some of our sister stations here in Ohio.
Yeah, but first, Betsy, what's new with this storm track? When does it get here? How much is it bringing?
I'm going to let you take the desk.
I'm going to move this out.
And we're just going to keep on talking, everybody. Here's the top 3 things that are brand new. Number 1, all the standing water that we have right now will be freezing up overnight. We do have a risk of black ice, that cold air coming in, and it's going to freeze up the standing water. That is a big concern, especially bridges and overpasses first, but I think we have a lot of cold ground, and that's going to be an issue. The changeover is still expected to happen late evening into the overnight. The timing gets stretched out a little bit. The farther south you go, we'll talk about that. And beware the second wave. That's going to be the new thing, because tomorrow afternoon and evening, this part of the storm system will be coming north, and that's the one that is going to spread the fluffy snow our way. And while it may sound cute and unicorns and rainbows, believe me, it is going to pack a punch tomorrow. Meanwhile, we have a lot of rain that is moving through northern Ohio right now, but we have a new winter storm warning for the entire state of Ohio. So now all of us are in this winter storm warning. It will continue until Friday morning. The rain is coming down. We have had periods of heavy rain, so that is lending to issues with standing water. I'm not worried about river flooding, but I am concerned about all the standing water that is around. We're still right around 40 degrees, but look at Port Clinton. They're now at 34. And if we take a quick peek at Toledo, it's on. Toledo is already in very sloppy snow, wet conditions that have just changed over. We are hearing about black ice reports in Toledo, which is why we're putting black ice in our forecast for especially the near shore areas as this cold front comes through. Still just wet roads here in Cleveland as the commute goes on. The wind is going to be more of a factor tomorrow than it is today. I want to show you these changeover times. This is when we go from rain, which is in the greens, to the mix in the pinks, to the snow later on, which is in the blue. Sandusky will go first, so you can kind of see we go from sleet to snow early evening, and then the rain to mix to snow changeover goes later and later the farther south you go. And ultimately, even for Canton, New Philadelphia, Dover, you folks may not make that change until we get into the early morning tomorrow. We've made some adjustments to the totals. Now, before you freak out about this, here's the deal. That next wave tomorrow is going to really be the determining factor for how much we get. We know we're not going to get a ton tonight. These are totals by Friday morning. We're still looking at 8 to 11 inches throughout most of the area. We've moved it south. That now includes Akron over to Worcester and Mansfield. We'll see a mix of snow and sleet accumulating for Canton down into Millersburg, and there could be a coating of ice far southern areas, Tuscarawas, Carroll counties, with a bit of snow on top of that. All of this will be adjusting in the next 24 hours. I guarantee it. So it's just basically an idea to help you plan. This is a pretty hard punch of snow coming our way. Jay?
All right, Betsy, thank you very much. Now, with this storm comes the potential for power outages, of course. Electric companies across the area are preparing for the absolute worst, but hoping that the work they've done ahead of this storm pays off. Brandon Simmons, live outside FirstEnergy in Solon tonight. Brandon, good evening to you. I understand you're already tracking some outages. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we are seeing some outages across Northeast Ohio, mainly in the Cleveland area. We know Cleveland Public Power is reporting 2 underground cables that got corroded, so they're affected from the flats all the way into Ohio City, affecting residences, also businesses. And now we are hearing from FirstEnergy as well that they have more than 6,000 customers without power. Also near that area, they're talking about the area in Tremont and surrounding areas, and they hope to have that power restored within the next couple hours. But of course, we know power companies have been preparing for this for a while, and they say they do have the crews that are ready to make repairs.
We've seen it before, and we could see it again. As a winter storm moves in, power goes out. This storm in particular has electric companies on standby.
This week's forecast, however, has the potential to bring ice and freezing rain in with the snow. And those elements have the potential to damage our system because of the weight of the ice buildup on our power lines and our equipment.
FirstEnergy has been in this position before, where a wintry mix has caused major problems. For that reason, they've activated their storm plan and have line technicians and contractors ready to go.
In addition to all hands on deck around the clock coverage, we also have internal contractor crews that we're able to engage in our restoration effort.
FirstEnergy uses in-house meteorologists to predict weather conditions that would have the greatest impact on the power grid. AEP takes a similar approach, and they also have staged about 1,700 workers in case of outages. But both companies are urging customers to do their part too.
So just as we prepare for severe weather, we encourage our customers to prepare as well.
Have an emergency kit ready that includes a flashlight and spare batteries. Also, unplug sensitive electrical devices in case of power surges. If you have a generator, be sure to only use it outdoors. And very important, never leave candles unattended. Also, if your power goes out, be sure to call it in.
Customer-reported power outages help us pinpoint the damage locations so that we can get a crew there and get your power back up and running.
Now also, you want to keep an eye out for down power lines. Obviously, those are very dangerous. If you see them, be sure to just call 911, let the police secure the area, and then they'll call power companies to come in and fix that issue. And of course, if you do lose power, you want to make sure you do have your phone handy. Download the WKYC app. We'll be tracking outages. And of course, that'll also still keep you connected to make sure you know what's going on, Jay.
Now, charge those phone batteries, get those auxiliary batteries fully charged, because you might need them. Brandon Simmons, live tonight from Solon. Brandon, thanks.
This is a live look now at OGO's website, which tracks crashes on major roads. So far, we don't have any major accidents that have been reported, but there will be many later tonight and tomorrow morning. Isabel Lawrence spoke with Highway Patrol today, and Isabel, they are urging people to stay off the roads.
Yeah, that's right, Betsy. This evening, we're in Berea. You can see we are at the Turnpike here, actually at the Ohio Turnpike Commission's headquarters, which has a great vantage point here. And you can see roads already wet and slippery. And I know a lot of Ohioans are probably sitting at home right now thinking, I've done this winter storm thing before. I'm not worried about it. But again, it's that threat of that slippery, icy, black ice type conditions that, Betsy, you were just mentioning. So a few things you should know if you absolutely have to be out on the roads tomorrow. Make sure that you are just taking it slowly. Drive calmly. Make sure you are extra aware and alert. Make sure you're leaving a lot of extra space between yourself and the car in front of you. And a sergeant I spoke to with the Highway Patrol today told me you do not want to make those knee-jerk reactions if you find yourself in a tricky situation, especially when it's icy and slick out. So again, if you're in trouble, don't panic. Do your best to stay calm.
Make sure you're keeping an extra distance between yourself and the cars in front of you. And if you find yourself in a situation where you are actually starting to slip, don't slam on the brakes and turn sharply. Just simply let off the accelerator and steer the vehicle in the direction that you want to go. It's better to hit a snowbank than to, hit another vehicle.
Now, what if you get into a situation where you do hit that ice and unfortunately you end up off the road? Sergeant Santiago there said it is important to stay in your car. If you're far enough off the road and in a safe enough position to assess your situation, then go for it. But otherwise, again, just stay inside so that you do have that shelter. And I know we say it every storm, but it really is so important. Make sure that you have those essential items in your car so that you're prepared. Your warm clothing, your food and water, your shovels. Even Sergeant Santiago mentioned a flare if you have one, in case you do get stranded and need to signal for help. So again, main message though, if you can stay inside tomorrow, stay off of the roads. In Berea, Isabel Lawrence, 3 News.
All right, Isabel, we've been telling folks for a few days now this is coming, so certainly they know how to prepare. All right, thank you so much for that, Isabel.
Well, Bets, it's not just icy roads that we have to worry about. Flights will certainly be impacted by the storm. We checked Hopkins' website late this afternoon. There were only a few cancellations as of right now for tonight. However, we counted more than 24 flight cancellations leaving the airport tomorrow, at least scheduled to leave tomorrow morning. So be sure that you check your flight status before you head out to the airport. Meantime, our Austin Love is live at Akron-Canton Airport. Austin, good evening to you. What are the flight statuses looking like there?
Yeah, Jay, good evening to you. Yeah, not much of an impact right now this evening at the Akron-Canton Airport. They've only have 2 more departing flights this evening, and one of those being at 6 o'clock. Both of those are on time, but come tomorrow, that will definitely be a different story. But as this moment right now, definitely not going to need your shovel or your snow boots right at this moment, but definitely bring that umbrella. Much like Cleveland here in Canton and Akron, they have been seeing a steady stream of rain all throughout the day and into the evening. And hey, this rain won't slow you down much at this moment, but it's more of the concern of what we know is coming, the sort of a perfect storm in the worst way type of situation. Soon this rain will turn to snow, and then the washed out roads will turn to ice. So definitely want to be careful this evening and tomorrow. Of course, ODOT has been prepping for this storm all week to ensure that highways are clear when this rain finally does turn to snow. We spoke to them yesterday, and they said that they have 50 trucks on the road here in Stark and Summit counties working throughout the night. So again, as far as flight statuses for here at the Akron-Canton Airport, not going to be too much of a concern tonight, but tomorrow could be a different story. Guys.
All right, Austin Love live tonight from Akron-Canton Airport. Austin, thank you. Still ahead on what's new. Yes, there is other news happening today aside from the storm. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame revealed its 2022 induction nominees today. We're going to share that ahead in Pop Break.
And Peyton is my tag team partner today. You got a little update on what's happening this evening.
Yeah, and if you've ever watched The Office, there's a big scene in there and it says, "It is happening." That is what is happening for us. It's the changeover. That's what we're looking like here as we take you through the evening. So if you don't have to head out, simply don't. The same thing holds true tomorrow. Temperature is going to stay in the 30s, but don't get too used to that either, because we are in for a sharp turnaround tomorrow, and then the idea of snow. Betsy and I will break down all the latest and what you need to know as you prepare for your Thursday, coming up in just a bit.
Test 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how much time do I have? Okay. All right, this is a live look right now at 90 West in Vermilion, where there is some fog beginning to set in. As you can see, no snow yet. With the weather changing, many schools are already closing. They are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You'll see them throughout the newscast. We also have a full section of cancellations. You can see that on WKYC.com. And right now it's time to get the latest on the storm, and our weather duo, Betsy and Peyton, are very excited about
fog.
What does that mean? Why is that so significant?
So it's significant because basically, there's an interesting thing too, because I'm seeing steam or the exhaust fans off of this one building, and it's blowing out toward the lake, but I'm seeing fog coming in aloft. So we have a wind switch that's coming in, and it's the fog, the cold air coming in off the lake that is really the leading edge of this whole change. So it's all going down as we head through the night tonight. I've been getting so many questions on social media, and I'm apologizing now because there's just no way I can answer every single one of them. So I figured I'd pick a couple, right? Do I need to worry about snow load on my roof? Nope. I think a lot of the snow has been melted off of roofs around Northeast Ohio thanks to those warm temperatures we had yesterday and earlier today. Do you think my drive to somewhere will be bad tomorrow? Yes. Period. That's the end. Just yes. I have a flight on Friday. Do you think we're okay? Actually, Friday, I think we will be okay. We're going to get back to normal as the day goes on. It's tomorrow. Thursday is the big day. And then Friday, we're dealing with cleanup repercussions. Roads and air travel for Thursday, very high impact. School closings already. And sorry for the kids who are going remote. I tried. I had one kid that emailed me and said they refer to me as the patron saint of school closings at their school. I'm doing my best. But here's a look, too, at the power outage possibilities, and that is actually high. Think of all this wetness that we have happening right now. It's going to freeze as soon as these temperatures drop below freezing. So the pine trees and all the oak trees, even though we don't have leaves on the trees, all that is still going to freeze, and that's heavy, and we're going to have some droopy branches. Then we're going to throw some snow on top of it, and that's going to continue the droop. So we will have slush accumulation first. Once we get that layer of insulation on the bottom of our ground, then we're going to start to pile the snow on top, and then everything freezes solid. Meanwhile, this is the next round. This is tomorrow. This is beware the second wave. This is it, and it's going to mean some big changes for us for tomorrow, meaning we have a worse kind of case scenario setting up for the afternoon into the evening. There's the cold front. That's the big determining factor for when things start to change. But the entire state of Ohio and a whole lot of states out to the southwest of us are under winter storm warnings now. This is for the entire area, and it goes through Friday morning. We are still rain right now, but the cooler air is beginning to move in. Port Clinton is now at 34. We're in the upper 30s here around much of Northeast Ohio. Standing water is the enemy right now. We don't want the standing water. This is what's going to happen over the next 6 hours or so from northwest to southeast, at least the onset of it. And we'll see this kind of changeover trickling south as we go through the night. But it is a slushy accumulation of wet snow, and that will be a problem. And you can see how wet the roads are here in Cleveland. All right, now, hour by hour forecast from National Design Mart. We're still in the 30s through 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. But here we go, 9 o'clock. Now we have that change taking place. The cold air is coming in from across the lake. We're going to have fog. We'll have that quick freeze back to the black ice, especially after 9 p.m. for our northern counties. And then watch how this continues to work its way south to the start of the day tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we will be in the 20s with snow coming down. Then through the day, we'll have waves of snow, upticks in the snow. Ultimately, by tomorrow afternoon, this is the second wave. Beware the second wave because the temperatures are going to be colder and that is going to be fluffy. Peyton's going to have more on that in just a second. But we are looking for 8 to 11 inches throughout greater Cleveland down to Akron over to Mansfield. 4 to 8 inches of a sleet snow mix. We'll detail that coming up in the next half hour. And then 2 to 4 inches with a glaze of ice farther south. It's going to be a mess tomorrow, everybody. If you don't have to go out, don't. And Peyton's going to give you another reason why.
Yeah, I mean, Betsy's been telling you all day long, just from the start of the 5 o'clock hour here, is that this is going to happen in 2 waves. So the rates of snowfall tomorrow are going to change a little bit. Obviously, the mix tonight, and then we start to kind of ease into it, but then we are here, and we are here for the brunt of it as we just simply take you through your Thursday. Things are going to be on the heavy side when it comes to snowfall rates. We do not see them start to back off until late tomorrow night into very early Friday morning. So keep that in mind. Something else to also just punch that point home is going to be the fact that temperatures are going to slide. Feels like conditions even lower, feeling like we're in the single digits. We even have the potential here Friday morning to potentially even see a wind chill advisory in place. And that's because sustained winds right around 10 to 20 miles per hour, but wind gusts potentially 30 to 35 miles per hour. So it's going to get cold, and it's going to get cold fast beyond the snow. 17 degrees by Friday in your Union Home Mortgage extended forecast here. Come Saturday, temperature is going to be back in the 20s. And then we don't get back into the 30s, Jay, until Sunday with a little extra sunshine there.
All right, we'll hold our breath, we'll wait, and we will get through this.
Yes,
We've done it many times before. Okay, still ahead, a full list of new heavy hitters as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame revealed its 2022 induction nominees today. Very interesting list. We're going to have that for you coming up in Pop Break. Then, in our Worth the Watch, this little girl's face says it all when it comes to her feelings on the snow. It's adorable. It's coming up when What's New returns. All right, today was a big day for rock and roll fans, especially for us here in Cleveland, Betsy.
That's right.
We look forward to this day every year.
I know the nominees are everything, right? And today the Rock Hall announced the 2022 induction nominees. Our Kiara Cotton has all the details.
Now you do what they told you. Look.
Working 9 to 5.
The time has come to usher in a new class of music greatness. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced its 2022 induction nominees today, and the list is full of heavy hitters. Beck, Pat Benatar, Kate Bush, Devo, Duran Duran, Eminem, Eurythmics, Judas Priest, Fela Kuti, MC5, New York Dolls, Dolly Parton, Rage Against the Machine, Lionel Richie, Carly Simon, A Tribe Called Quest, and Dionne Warwick.
Any fan will find artists on this list that they love. Any 5 or 6 of these being elected will be a great class, and we're so thrilled to have this ballot.
17 names. Of those, 7 are first-time nominees. Eminem is the only first-time eligible nominee, meaning he released his first commercial recording at least 25 years ago. As for the annual induction ceremony, a location and ticket information will be announced at a later date. The official list of inductees will be announced in May, but in the meantime, You can vote for your favorite artist daily to help boost their chances of being inducted. We have all the details on how to do that up now at WKYC.com. I'm Kira Cotton, 3 News.
Vote, vote, vote. Vote for your favorites.
I know, and there's a lot of, at least you don't only get one vote in that set.
Yeah, I know.
You can keep rolling it through. Duran Duran.
Were you a big fan?
Well, my sister was, so therefore I was.
Yeah, she had the poster. They were big as the video era was coming in.
Yes.
They were MTV rock stars. I mean, they were everywhere.
Simon Le Bon.
Yeah, boy, they were big once upon a time. It's going to be a great class. I'm looking forward to see who gets in and who doesn't. Okay, some kids love the snow. We know this, and some don't. But after you see today's Worth the Watch, there is no doubt how this young girl feels. Watch.
Do you like the snow? No. Why not? Can you say snow? Do you like the snow? No.
That's awesome.
I saw this last night, and I literally felt like this is going to be Cleveland's collective reaction come Friday.
Either that or, it's not as much snow as I thought it was going to be. There's two groups. It's too much snow, and it's not as much as I thought it was going to be.
Well, that's a pleasant surprise then.
You would think.
You shouldn't be upset at that. Yeah, that would be a thank you.
We hope.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be the one finger wave.
That might be her, or her video might be me on Friday.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will be and trying to drive around. Oh, you may. All right, well, we have more storm coverage coming your way as we continue to track this latest that is happening both in the sky and on the roads.
Then no doubt shoveling is in the near future for thousands here in the Northeast Ohio area. We know all about the dangers that come along with shoveling snow. We're going to hear from one local doctor on his suggestions to make sure we don't overdo it.
And Hugh Jackson's suggestion, wow, I haven't heard or said that name in quite a while. So Jay is going to explain what he said today that is all kinds of buzz in the sports world and beyond, and it involves our Browns. What?
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Welcome back to the second half hour of What's New. You're looking now at live pictures from downtown. That's the CSU cam. And Betsy was telling us that fog that we're now seeing roll in off the lake signifies that a change is coming, right, Beth?
You can see that visibility is very much still changeable. We will see a huge fog bank rolling in later tonight as we really get a pronounced shift in the wind. That's the leading edge of the cold air coming in. So if you live on the lake or near the lake, if all of a sudden you look outside and it's foggy, you know the temperature has dropped. The cold front is here.
So like Peyton was saying earlier, that Office meme, where he's running, he's running around the office. It's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Yeah, I've been kind of doing that all week, unfortunately. I'll tell you what, we are kind of just getting into the thick of things, and I already have so many people who are like, where's the snow? You said this was the winter storm. This is the beginning of the winter storm. It starts as rain. All of our good ones really start as rain, don't they? And so right now we have a significant storm system that is stretched from New England all the way down into Texas. This is the part of the storm that's coming tomorrow, and that will lock in snow for us through the day tomorrow with upticks. We'll have waves of heavier snow moving through, and that's going to be a problem. A swath of winter storm warnings, including the entire state of Ohio. For our winter storm warning, it is now going to be active all the way through Friday morning. Temperatures are still in the upper 30s. We're starting to see a little bit of wavering in some of these temperatures. It's 34 in Port Clinton. Our radar is showing that we have some snow that is already starting to move toward Port Clinton, and I really have been keeping a close eye on the ODOT road cams. This is the Toledo cam I showed you at the top of the newscast. We have a good coating of very slushy, wet, messy, concrete cement-like snow, and that is not good to drive in, obviously. Meanwhile, just a little bit farther to the east in Port Clinton, right on the top of the picture, you can kind of see how murky it is. That's on the lake. This is that bridge, the Edison Bridge, and you can see how murky it is. That's the fog. Once that fog rolls in, that's the cold air, and we're really going to start to see things getting a little bit sticky. 4 to 7 p.m., that's when this changeover is expected to take place. We may back these numbers back an hour or so, but I really think once the sun sets, things are going to start to happen rather quickly. 7 to 11 p.m., Cleveland, Akron, Medina, down to Mansfield, over to Ashtabula. A little bit later into the early morning hours for the Canton area, and then farther south to over New Philadelphia, down to Carrollton. That changeover may not even take place until tomorrow morning. It's all about the track of the storm and how quickly all of this changeover takes place. With the slushy accumulation we are expecting tonight and the snow tomorrow, and finally leaving out on Friday, we are expecting storm totals by Friday afternoon at 8 to 11 inches throughout greater Cleveland and Akron, 4 to 8 inches farther south. This is going to be a sleet snow mix. If the second wave goes farther south, you folks in Canton over toward Millersburg may get a little bit more snow. If it comes farther north, we're going to have to back all this up. So it's still changing. And again, it's great that we have that storm now on the radar, and we can start to sample it and get a better idea of exactly how this is going to start to move. So I thought this would be kind of fun because people love to tell me how wrong I am all the time. So I figured I'm going to tell you where I think that we could bust in this whole thing. The changeover may be a little bit slower. That would mean more mix rather than snow. That's going to monkey with the accumulations a little bit. A southerly shift of the second low that goes farther south, that will change our accumulations. It'll take some of the best dynamics farther south, but we still are expecting fluffy accumulations across our entire area tomorrow. And the timing of that second wave, that could mess things up as far as the Friday night into Saturday morning time frame. So there's a lot that is still to go on, but friends, the storm is here and the change is going to take place tonight. We'll give you some more details coming up in just a little bit. Jay?
All right, Betsy, thank you very much. We have crews from our sister stations actually helping us out during this storm. We have Nate Belt in Luna Pier, Michigan, which is near Toledo. John Henry will be giving us live updates from the Mansfield area. And Hunter Signs is in Ohio City for us tonight. Since the storm is coming from the west, we're going to check in with Nate first. Hi, Nate.
Yeah, hey guys, we are on the western shores of Lake Erie right now in Luna Pier, as you mentioned, just north of Toledo. I'll step to the side so you can see we've obviously got a lot of snow coming down right here, and it has been coming down steady just like this for the last few hours. Earlier today, it was starting to slush up a little bit. We had kind of a mix of a little bit of rain in here as well. That has produced a lot of slick roads. Now, on 75, I was driving along 75 earlier this afternoon, saw about 5 accidents in my short drive on the highway, probably only about 20 minutes. 5 different accidents, cars slipped into ditches. Roads are very slick right now. Obviously want to advise anybody who is thinking about going out tonight, just, be cautious. And if you don't have to, I definitely wouldn't. It is slick out there. And as I mentioned, cars sliding off the roads right now. And that's only going to get worse as the night continues on, as the temperatures continue to drop and things start to freeze. And as you heard, snow is going to continue on as well. So be careful if you're having to go out tonight. And as we said, we want to advise, if you don't have to, definitely don't. But for now, we want to send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you so much. And now let's check in with John Henry, who's here from our sister station in Washington, D.C. And John, you are currently in Mansfield. How are the conditions there right now?
Well, Betsy, right now things aren't too bad. It's a light, steady rain that we've experienced over the last hour or two here. You can see right here behind me, the area roads aren't too bad with travel, as well as Interstate 71 a little further there in the distance. That said, we do know we are waiting for that big change in a few hours here, and we're a little worried about ice and sleet on the roadways. We talked to ODOT. They're preparing for cleanup and snow removal here a little bit later, but we haven't seen any plows just yet. We also talked to Ohio Edison, and we do know that they're a little worried about ice accumulation on some of the power lines here in Mansfield, Richland, and Ashland County. So that's something they're going to be keeping an eye out for as well. But right now, so far, just light rain, and we're still waiting for that change. Guys?
All right, John, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Now we want to check the conditions in Cleveland. Hunter Sines is in town from our sister station in Charlotte.
Yes.
So that was a nice assignment. Sorry about that, Hunter. Good evening to you. You're live in Ohio City on the city's west side. What are they dealing with out there right now?
Yeah, same here. Just some light rain falling. There's plenty of water on the ground. That, of course, will be a problem, as you guys are saying, as those temperatures continue to plummet. But walk with me here, because before the really bad part of this storm, a lot of people were just trying to get a quick bite to eat, maybe a cup of joe, including here at Larder, and it's locked. And that's because it's dark inside. The power went out earlier today. They were forced to close because of that power outage. Not a light was on when we stepped inside to talk with the owner. He says it went out just before 2 o'clock this afternoon, as he had a packed house inside. 26 seated customers left in the dark, and he had to even turn away a line of patrons. Cleveland Public Power says the outage was caused by 2 underground cables corroding due to snow, salt, and rainwater. They are working to get power back on, but as of right now, at last check, it still is out. The Larder's owner here says this is not a good start before the brunt of this storm hits.
I'm ashamed as a Clevelander, right? Like, why can't we function? Why can't we work? Why are these things happening when they shouldn't be?
All right. Yeah, certainly a lot to keep an eye on, Hunter. And welcome to Cleveland. Thanks for coming to help us out. We've had a lot of folks asking why we have all these people out, and it's not even snowing. We are scene setting.
Yeah, it's coming.
These folks are going to be out there doing that tomorrow, too. So we really appreciate you coming to town, Hunter.
There was an interesting shot in there.
Absolutely.
You could see the water was draining, which is nice. It was flowing well into the drains. Because you had talked about that and said one of the big concerns was if those drains were blocked, then the ice would build up even more on the
water
streets because there's nowhere to go.
And we'll have black ice. And I think we will have some black ice issues later on tonight. But today is a different day.
It's your favorite day, isn't it, of the year?
I woke up and I have been like looking at weather models before I even get out of bed. Yeah. And I look and I was like, oh, February 2nd to make sure it was the right model run. And I'm like,
Today is 2/2/22, but it's also Groundhog Day. And we have to mention that Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow this morning. So according to this legendary tradition, that means 6 more weeks of winter. I also hear, Bets, that you actually, and I was surprised to hear this because I know you're not such a fan of Groundhog Day, but I understand that you and the girls visited Punxsutawney a few years ago.
We took a vacation in Pennsylvania, went camping.
Right.
And on the way back, it was like, why not stop and see the rodent? There it is.
The rodent.
He lives in a library. Don't even get me started on, oh, poor Phil.
Oh, look at the
Phil
girls.
lives a life of luxury. That was in 2018, so that was a couple of years ago. You can see the look on my face. I'm like, I hate my life right now. But they do
So he
have
lives
a
a good
really,
life, right,
he
Phil?
lives a great life. They do have a really cute weather discovery center there, and I applaud them for kind of leaning in on the whole weather thing.
Yeah,
it's a really great science center for it, and it's all revolving around weather. But that was Phil, and of course I encouraged the girls to go up and tap on the glass and say hello.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Say hi to Phil.
Good times.
All right, very good.
Well, coming up for us, a local physician shares safety tips for how best to avoid getting injured while shoveling.
Plus, former Cleveland Browns head coach Hugh Jackson takes to Twitter to make shocking allegations about an offer to get bonus pay to lose games on purpose. Folks, this could turn very big. We'll explain it coming up.
All right, a couple more questions for you here. What does winter storm warning mean? And it basically means there's high impact winter storm that's coming through. In this case, it's all about snow accumulation, or farther south, it's about ice accumulation. But 6 inches of snow in 12 hours or 8 inches of snow in 24 hours. And I think a lot of places are going to be able to get that. So we have the winter storm warning. That's for the entire state. Downstate, they're a little bit more concerned about ice than we are up here. I've been seeing other numbers. Of course you're seeing other numbers. Everybody's got a set of numbers. Our numbers are hand-honed. I can't speak to why people have their numbers. I can tell you why my numbers are where they are. And we really haven't wavered too much once we put our numbers out. We're still right around 10 inches for Greater Cleveland. Is it bad to be excited about this? Well, I mean, I can understand that. There's a lot of adrenaline that goes in. There's a lot of impacts that are going to be a little bit painful, but on the same side, it's really incredible to watch this science unfold and see how the storm moves and morphs and changes. And it's really cool to try and keep up. That's one of the things that I think is neat about it. One of the things that we are very concerned about tonight is black ice. That is all this standing water that is around freezing before the snow gets in, and I think that is going to be an issue as we get into the late night hours tonight. The changeover will be happening late evening into the overnight from north to south, and we are going with beware the second wave. You'll hear that a lot tonight and even tomorrow morning, because that second wave that is down here in Texas, that is going to work its way up the backside of the Appalachians and spread snow across northern Ohio. Tomorrow, we will have waves of heavier snow that begins to move in, and that's going to lock in a lot of these snow rates. Plus, it'll be colder and fluffier, and Peyton's going to talk more about that coming up. But you can see the rain that's coming in now. We have snow already reported Toledo westward into Fort Wayne. They're getting hit right now. This cold air is here to stay with us, unfortunately. Arctic air mass that is intruding. It is moving south. The slower progression of the changeover is basically because the cold front's expected to slow down once it gets into southern Ohio, because we have to wait for the second wave. But in the meantime, we have a lot of warnings throughout the middle part of the country, including ours. This is that winter storm warning, highly impactful winter storm, all the way through Friday morning. Temperatures still hovering near 40. We've got the coldest air out to the west of us at this point. Toledo, this is the scene, and I think this will be the scene for greater Cleveland and points west by the time we hit about 10 o'clock. And then that slushy accumulation is going to freeze up. So the progression goes from this evening all the way into mid-morning tomorrow from north to south. And this is when the rain, then you're going to get that quick flash freeze, and then the changeover to sleet and snow. So we kind of take you through the night here, hour by hour in your National Design Mart forecast. That cold air invades. You can kind of see how that line goes from north to south through the area, and we'll hold on to that slushy mess in the morning. All the while, the temperatures are going to be dropping. 8 to 11 inches. This is the storm total, not just tonight. This includes the snow tomorrow, too. But we could have some areas that get an uptick in the snow. It adds a little fluff factor, and we could get higher amounts. Still, these numbers are very flexible because we just are not sure exactly what that southern part, the kicker, the beware the second wave, not exactly sure where that's going. If it comes up closer to us, we can adjust this north. If it goes farther south, we have to adjust farther south too. We'll continue to refine, but one thing I can tell you, tomorrow is not going to be a great day. Peyton?
Nope, tomorrow's going to be a doozy. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, do not think that this is done and over with, or what we've been telling you is false, because it's not. The thing is, heavy snowfall rates are going to persist through a good chunk of your Thursday here. Things really don't start to let on up until late tomorrow night into early Friday. And just remember, this is that fluff factor Betsy's been mentioning. That is when we could see some of the greatest snowfall rates here across the area. Now tomorrow, when it comes to temperatures, today we were in the 30s. Yeah, tomorrow is a different story. We're going to be in the 20s, feeling like the single digits for a greater chunk of the day. Sustained winds anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wind gusts ranging anywhere from about 30 to 35. So we could actually see a wind chill advisory be tossed up into very early Friday morning. Same thing Saturday morning here. So we'll keep you fine-tuned to all of that. But your Union Home Mortgage forecast does not highlight a 30-degree day until we hit Sunday, guys.
All right, I'm just going to say it. I miss July.
It'll be here before we know it.
Just had to throw that out there.
It'll be back.
I know it's coming. It'll be here when it gets here. All right, it is Wellness Wednesday today, and with all of the snow on the way, a lot of you, of course, will be shoveling over the next couple of days. We've talked at length on this program about the heart risks that are involved in that exercise. Well, we also spoke with a back pain specialist from the Cleveland Clinic today who says shoveling can be a very strenuous workout, and he stresses how important it is to stretch out muscles in your back and arms, shoulders, and legs before you pick up the shovel. And remember to lift with your legs, not your back.
If you're going to be throwing it across the body, then you should do some stretches that would have your body twist in a particular way. If you're going to push things, you got to make sure that your legs are stretched out also. Some gentle squats, getting up and sitting down a couple of times in a row before you get back out in the open.
Yeah, stretches, twists, anything to get that back moving. Dr. Thomas also suggests using a light plastic shovel. It's tough when you use those heavy metal ones. It's just a little heavier, and you got to lift it with each shovel. And try to limit your activity when shoveling to about 20 minutes. So if you need to, and you got a big driveway or a whole lot of snow on your sidewalks, take a little break every 20 minutes just to recharge. Coming up next on What's New, former Browns head coach Hugh Jackson casting a huge allegation on social media today. What he said that's causing a real stir in the NFL. Well, there is a potential bombshell story swirling around the Cleveland Browns and the NFL right now. It goes back to the 2016 and 2017 seasons. The executive director of the Hugh Jackson Foundation, Kimberly Dimert, alleged on Twitter that Hugh Jackson and 3 Browns executives were offered money by owner Jimmy Haslam to intentionally lose games, in essence, tanking, so the team could get a better draft position. For his part, this is what Hugh is basically alleging. There were some kind of bonuses or monies paid, and he says he can prove it. As for the Browns, well, they threw a blanket on this story, and in a hurry. The recent comments by Hugh Jackson and his representatives relating to his tenure as our head coach are completely fabricated. Any accusation that any member of our organization was incentivized to deliberately lose games is categorically false. So, Bets, here's the deal. Someone's lying. Right. Someone is not telling the truth here, because Hugh, later on Twitter today, said that he has proof to back up all of his claims. In fact, he's going on to do a live interview on ESPN later tonight. He's saying his side of the story is true and he can prove it. The Browns obviously saying no. As for the other executives, they're Sashi Brown, who's no longer with the team, Paul DePodesta, and Andrew Berry, who at the time was not the general manager. He left and has come back and is currently with the team. So the big question is, why now? Well, Hugh said until now, there's been a gag order on him and making comments about this from the NFL and the NFL commissioner.
Oh.
So he's alleging collusion all the way to the very top. Stay tuned.
Days of our lives don't have nothing on our Browns.
This one could get dicey.
We'll be right back.
Being like, what? Why would you pick up an option on this guy?
Hey, I do. Who's this? Hey, how are you, Brooke? Good, good.
I got you. Coming right out. Mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Mic check. Isabel and Berea outside the Ohio.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Brooke, you got us. Brooke, you got us. Brooke.
Umansky. Owner Jeremy Umansky. Hi there. Yes, I do.
Brooke, what time are we hitting at? 6:07. I think it's what that note, remember Kelly put out? Yep. Stick him in that snow pile, so I'll pan over to him. You want to stick Dave in the snow pile? Oh. Every time we'll be sitting in there, I'll pan over. That might be good. Back over. Well, I'm worried about the wind. Well, no, I mean, it ain't going nowhere. I won't go nowhere. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I'll just do, before, after, whatever. So.
We have our Black History Month moment to tell you about. Ohio did not allow slavery as outlined in the Constitution of 1803, but it did enact laws preventing black citizens from being treated as equals to whites. That is, until a pastor turned politician used his powerful voice to strike down Ohio's so-called black laws. Here's our Leon Bibb with the story.
The church brought Benjamin Arnett from Pennsylvania to Ohio, but the political arena is where the pastor made his greatest impact. Representing Greene County in the Ohio House, the skilled orator made an impassioned case against the state's black laws. These laws limited the freedom, rights, and economic prosperity of Ohio's black citizens. Arnett fought to have these laws repealed and won in 1887. This also forced changes in education, requiring Ohio provide equal opportunities to children, regardless of race.
Benjamin Arnett.
Leon Bibb reporting for us.
We're out of time. We're back tomorrow at 5, and we hope to see you then.
Our storm coverage continues on What Matters Most with Russ and Laura, and that starts now.
Now at 6, winter storm warning. All this rain will be changing to snow tonight. We have live team coverage and the latest from Betsy. Also, dangerous travel. As that snow starts to fall, police are pleading with drivers to stay off the roads so crews can get to work. And utility issues. Keeping the lights and heat on is a major concern for Northeast Ohio power companies. The latest on that and much more right now.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Cascio. We've been talking about it all week long. A major winter storm in Northeast Ohio.
Let's take a look at the live weather radar, which tells the story. As our weather team has been predicting for days, that storm is now pushing into our area. And for hours today, road crews were preparing their trucks, loading up with salt. And we have reporters out in the conditions all around the area tonight.
Live team coverage with Isabel Lawrence near the Turnpike in Berea, Hunter Signs in Ohio City with power outages already, and Brandon Simmons is in Solon. But we begin, of course, with the chief, meteorologist Betsy Kling, with a first look, Betsy, at this storm's track.
Yeah, well, the storm's track is still TBD, especially the way things are going to work out tomorrow with the wave. And you'll hear a lot more about that coming up. But standing water, that is the enemy tonight, because all of this standing water, all this rain that we've been getting today will freeze as soon as these temperatures start to drop. And it looks like it should be a pretty quick drop back into the low 30s and then ultimately the 20s. And that will present the idea of black ice with some slush on top of it. So it's just a bad situation. This changeover will be taking place overnight tonight from northwest to southeast. And I tell you, for tomorrow, beware the second wave. The second wave is this round of snow and ice and rain that is down in Texas.